9 Steps to SEO-friendly content. Fill an article with the best keywords to be ranked as high as possible on Google. We all know that this trick has been outdated for years. Indeed, it is far from being effective. Google, which is becoming more and more intelligent, understands more and more SEO tricks. So it's high time to provide real quality and right content that offers real value to the reader and the search engines. Grab your pen, as we explain in 9 steps how to write SEO-friendly content that is also eye-catching to your visitors. First and foremost, how does Google work? With a good SEO article, you want to score points on Google. To do this effectively, it helps to know how the search engine works. If you know how Google works, it suddenly becomes much easier to use it yourself. Google works with an algorithm that visits and indexes websites. This indexing has a name, crawling. During crawling, the algorithm evaluates your website based on a series of factors according to the value you add to a given topic, and therefore to certain keywords. Nobody knows exactly what these factors are. Moreover, these factors are regularly modified and optimized by Google in order to further improve the results. However, there are a number of basic rules that are extremely important for an SEO-rich content. Are you following? Tip 1. Know who you are writing for. Before you start writing the article, you need to determine for whom you are writing, for the target group. Think of a love letter. If you didn't know who you were writing for, it would be very difficult to put anything on paper. The same goes for SEO content. If you know who you are writing for, you can actually address that group. That way, you know how you address the reader, the tone, and whether he or she has any knowledge about the subject. And the same goes for Google. If it's interesting to the reader, Google will find it interesting too. Tip 2. The end justifies the means. Every article has a message. Imagine the love letter again. You want to tell someone you love him or her. Without a clear purpose, your content is in danger. The purpose of your article is the thread that runs through your story. Just as this video is meant to inform you about SEO-friendly content, a category page on an online store is meant to attract and convert as many visitors as possible. Determining the purpose of the content will help you to write a clear and targeted article for your target group. Now you can play all the games to achieve your goal. By the way, of course, not literally all the ways. All this with respect to Google. Tip 3. Search and you will find. In an SEO content, it's all about the keywords. These are the terms under which you want to be found. But how do you determine which keywords to use? It all starts with keyword research. With keyword research, you determine how your target group searches for a certain topic. Try to focus in your article on a series of keywords that are often searched for. This can help you determine a primary keyword, the main keyword. In addition, you can assign a series of secondary keywords. Make sure that these keywords are used seamlessly in the article. Always remember that the visitor is the first priority, also for Google. Is the article easy to read for the visitor, and do the keywords appear from time to time in a logical way? If so, Google will reward you. The search engines will even penalize you if you try to place a lot of them in your article. So always stay natural and write for the user first. Tip 4. From head to toe. The structure of your content is extremely important for Google. It shows easily what the article is about and gives the content a pleasant flow. You organize the article by using headings, paragraphs, and quotes. This makes it easy for Google to understand what your content is about. The H1 tag is the most important title on the page. It is important that the page contains a H1 title that represents the heart of the article. Make sure that this title contains the most important keyword. The H2 tag, subheading, simply indicates what a paragraph is about and, unlike the H1 heading, can be used more often. Is the use of H3 headings redundant? Definitely not. They may be minor in the hierarchy, but they can help you structure your content. By using H3, and possibly even H4, you also show that you are covering a particular subtopic in great detail. The use of headings makes the content more manageable for the reader. As attention span becomes shorter and shorter, they can decide within seconds whether the article is relevant enough for them. And as you can imagine by now, the visitor is happy, so is Google. Tip 5. Choose a clear page title. The page title, also called page title or title tag, is a short description of the web page. Although the page title is only a small part of your content, it is incredibly important. It ensures that it is immediately clear to the visitor what the page is about. The page title is displayed in the top bar of the browser and is used when displaying search results. In short, they describe the content of the page, as it were. Apart from the fact that the visitor immediately knows what your page is about, Google's algorithm can better determine the relevance of the page. A page title is both visitor-friendly and SEO safe. Tip 6. Entice the user with the meta description. The meta description and the page title can be mentioned in the same breath. They are inseparable for the user. Based on this meta description and the title, the visitor decides whether he wants to visit your website. So don't forget to fill in the meta description and choose a clear description that can lure visitors to your website, so to speak. Another tip, put the most important keyword in the meta description. When the user searches for this word, it will appear in bold in the description. This, of course, attracts even more attention. Tip 7. Words with the same meaning. Twin word, copycat word, or LSI keywords. Our golden tip for writing good content, synonyms. Using synonyms is very important. It is important that you vary the words. However, it is important that you choose the right words with the right meaning. If you do not choose the right words, the sentence will lose its meaning. It is important that this does not happen. Therefore, try to vary your word choice. For example, choose the word essential instead of important, or replace correct with appropriate. This will improve readability. Tip 8. Be careful with dead pages. You want to keep visitors on your website as long as possible. Therefore, include relevant links to other pages in your article. However, do this only if the link is really relevant. But what kind of links can you come up with? In this case, a link to our site via internal links would be very interesting. The visitor can read more of your content through these links and get the chance to dive deeper into your website. In this way, you entice them to read further and not stop at the current page. In addition, the use of internal links allows Google's crawlers to quickly index the entire website. This improves the ranking of individual pages. Thus, the links are relevant to both the visitor and the search engines, killing two birds with one stone. Tip 9. How many words should you use? Are you curious about the ideal number of words? The answer is simple: there is no such thing. What's more important is that the content is always relevant. Whether you need 500 or 1,000 words for it, relevance is key. So try not to add unnecessary words. When deciding on the length of the article, you should be guided by your competitors. If they have a lot of short content, you don't need to write large paragraphs of article. However, if they have longer content, then it is advisable to write a longer SEO article yourself. In any case, the user should come first again. Can you add any valuable information? Write it. You now have all the tips for writing SEO-friendly content. Then there's nothing left but to crawl behind the keyboard. It's time to act. Surprise your visitors and Google with content that will amaze them. If you find these tips useful, follow us for more.